Welcome to the parody where we tell up the victims on our favorite media. I'm Tessa Rose, and today we're looking at Mansion Battle Episode 4, released in 2023. Of course, you know I can't have that much of an objective opinion on this thing since I technically made it. Of course, this episode passes off the previous episodes by showing one of the contestants being eliminated from that last one. And if you need a recap, please go watch the entire kill count for the panel arc Mansion Battle. The challenge in this episode is very peculiar. Protect your waffle from getting eaten by the other team. However, with a new relationship coming in the form of this episode, it really turns into an inter-team standoff. Will this inter-team rivalry put the series' kill count above 300? Let's find out and get to the kills. The episode begins with Eric feeling that their win from last episode was a bit unfair. Kinda weird in retrospect how this episode is kinda contradictory. Emily tells him to think about it because someone not fully developed will get eliminated this episode. Allie asks her team if they're ready for impending doom, to which they all say no to. But Temmie comes up to it and ruins everything. After the title card and revamped intro, we get to the elimination. To keep Yuri withstanding, Alexi and Jane are safe this episode, but there's only 3 people who got votes. After we confirm Simon is safe, it's down to Violet and Nancy. Unfortunately for Nancy's career, she's been eliminated, placing 21st out of 22nd. After she spits out a very light curse word, she tells them what they do with everyone who's been eliminated, sending them back to the city. But, about Chicken Leg? Yeah, he's just straight up dead in the panel of death along with Sticky Boneless. After more shots of the characters walking, Alien tells everyone that the next challenge is about to be announced. Their challenge, to eat the other team's waffle and protect your own. And for some reason, if someone dies, you're not gonna get recovered. She even rented an entire town for this, which we can see when Colin teleports to... What the fuck is that, Memeville? And if you're unfamiliar with the Memeville stuff, watch the beginning of the Untitled Meme Movie 2 episode, specifically 4 to 6 minutes in, to get my full context on why you probably should not support them. But just like that, the challenge begins. Many people are in weird places, including Alexi. And oh, she's looking at a dead body. This triggers a lot of stuff in her as we get a flashback to her time in the panel. Said flashback features a retelling of Heidi's death. A few people, specifically Piper and Colin, ask why they spawned away from their teams. Temmie herself admits that it was a big mistake, so she snaps her fingers in order to get everyone into another aspect ratio. Sarah's looking for whipped cream in the fridge until Winter interrupts and spots what looks like a strawberry to him. Sucks to be you because you just ate a human heart. The entirety of the sack is just eaten too, but at that restaurant. Look at this text I just randomly left in the episode. Emily, however, is depressed. That's only because she is not on Violet's team. This part seemingly comes out of nowhere due to the entire circumstances of the episode, but it makes sense within the context. We also get confirmation that Winter has died from eating that human heart, making this his second death in the show. Iris is pissed at Violet, and Allie lets out the word shit. We come back to Emily on the mountain, having her own anxieties. They compel her to climb off and start killing everyone inside her own team? Again, this makes no sense within the episode. You know, at least it leads to a snarky comment from Laura, and it also leads to her being stabbed in the stomach by Emily. Grabbing a key card, Leo isn't risking anything, so he runs into the kitchen. Emily followed him in there. She was Allie in disguise. But why did she disguise as Allie if Allie is on many shapes and sizes? Whatever, she throws him into a hole, he falls in, and he has to be awakened by, something. In the real Roblox game, all of these backgrounds are taken from. What's down here is actually a looping gif of a Rickroll. To some, his fate might be ambiguous, but he's fully intended to be dead, so let's count him. Meanwhile, Alexi is watching a video with a decapitated guy. Sarah tries hyping her team up by telling them to actually focus on the challenge and do the challenge. Fortunately, everyone else on her team seems to see the logic within the statement. So everyone on many shapes and sizes goes out and raids a weaponry. Rain and Michael are on the other side of the map near the bacon juice factory. Rain doesn't want Emily to destroy their entire team, but Michael proposes that she might want to be on the other team. At this point, Emily is just messing with everyone else on her team. We cut back to the weaponry where Colin is confused as to why Violet isn't doing anything. Violet senses that they're treating Emily wrongly. She just wants Emily to be in an environment where someone cares for her. No one on her team must have cared. They must have driven her to a point where she killed almost everyone on her team. Now, as I'm kill counting this, I will have to follow with what Violet just said. So, at the start of this series, the SAC had 11 members. Of course, Chris's elimination cut that number down to 10. The figure won't include Laura or Leo since they have both been killed. And Emily doesn't kill herself this episode, which cuts the total number down to 7. And Rain and Michael are still alive at this time, which cuts the number down to 5. And also, Colin switching makes 4. So for this, I'm gonna add 4 more members of the SAC, since that's how many are left after that. It gets her so mad to the point where she censors Bastard and telling them that they need to get what they deserve. She presents them with 2 choices. Have 2 people come and eat their waffle, or eat their waffle and make Emily feel better. Fortunately, everyone agrees with the latter. Violet knows all this happened to Emily because during that prolonged break of probably just about 2 weeks, she had told her about everything that happened behind the scenes. Apparently, some of them wanted to forge something with her. Even the people that didn't, they never intervened or stepped in. They just let it happen, and she's appalled about that. Rain asks Michael how they could have stopped this, to where Michael does exactly what Violet is uncomfortable with. Rain is the first person who isn't Violet to step up for Emily with this hilarious line. The first sentence of it is the hilarious part. Michael makes a shitty-ass excuse for saying all of that important stuff to where Rain leaves him. Right afterwards, he is shot through the head by Simon. Good fucking riddance. Violet walks into the restaurant where Emily is just standing in a corner. She tells Emily that they're here for her, in which she just decides to hug Violet. They embrace each other for a bit until Emily hands Violet her team's waffle. And with that, she eats it, causing the SAC to be up for elimination. Rain is the only other member of the SAC to survive. However, the other members do eventually end up being recovered. Violet walks up to Emily to tell her something, which Emily might see coming. Welp, Violet likes Emily, which is a mutual feeling. This is also where Violet and Colin switch teams. Violet is now on the SAC and Colin is now in many shapes and sizes. That confession leads to the longest gay kiss of any object show, lasting 50.5 seconds. The episode ends with a stinger showcasing Sarah asking if they're done making out. Sarah, you should have seen this coming. They're obviously not going to be done anytime soon. Did the inter-team drama in this episode bring us a pretty high kill count? Well, I mean, I counted it, so I definitely know that it's not that high, but let's just get to the— 11 people died in Mansion Battle Episode 4. The victims consisted of 8 men, 1 woman, and 2 victims of other genders, giving us this 3-part pie chart that definitely doesn't match up with how many waffles there were. Disregarding everything else, this episode is in the middle ground between episodes 2 and 3, although, definitely leaning more towards episode 2 in terms of kills. In breaking down the kills by culprit, 3 of them didn't have a discernible killer. Winter killed himself, therefore he gets something on this. Simon killed Michael when he shot him through the head, and Emily decimated 6 of her own teammates, giving her team's or this episode's highest kill count. Who knows? With a run time of 10 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 54.55 seconds. I'll give Amethyst Flamethrower to Chris, mostly because of the hilarious unexpectedness of it. I'll give Broken Pistol to the 4 SAC members who were killed off screen. I should have put something in there so you could see how they died. Probably not anymore though. And that's it. Mansion Battle Episode 4 was released in 2023 after a 16-month gap between it and the previous episode. Episode 5 of Mansion Battle comes out whenever it does. I'll link that in the description. And on Friday, you'll see the long-awaited Time Heroes re-recount. Can't wait for that. But until then, I'm Tessa Rose, and this has been a parody. Thanks a lot for watching this parody. This is the second time I've released something to correlate with something else releasing. I also want to thank all the new voice actors we got for Mansion Battle. You know who you are if you're watching this. And the backups we have. That's all I really have for this outro, so thanks for watching.